Hello internet people, it's me. Sorry I haven't made a video in quite a while. I'm lazy, no. Yes, but no. I also have a day job which is sucking a lot of my energy, which I'm very low of this time of year. Canadian winter and all that. But I did find this lovely little list made by a political scientist named Dr. Lawrence Britt, who studied fascist regimes of different countries, and he came up with a list of 14 elements that all fascist regimes have in common. And as I went down that list, all I could think of is like, oh, this is like feminism. Oh, this is like feminism too. I'm like, oh, I have a video here. So I'm gonna go through that list and show you why these 14 different points are very much like feminism. So point number 1, powerful and continuing nationalism. This highlights the tribalism in feminism, which is the unifying factor all of its members have in common. It says the group unity under one common unifier. And in that chapter, he also mentioned the use of mottos, slogans, symbol, flags. It's the same here. Number 2, disdain for the recognition of human rights. Quote, human rights can be ignored because of need. You see that a lot in feminism, especially in American university campuses, where the right to due process for especially male accused of sexual assault, sexual harassment, and all that arrays of crime, they don't quite give a shit about due process for men because, you know, ignoring their rights as a need to further advancement for women, to put more rapists in jail, whatever the excuse is they're going to use to pretend that it's a good thing that we're eroding due process, but it's just for men, not for women. Women have the right to due process, you know. It's to rebalance some sort of inequality you see in society, but it's bullshit. You're taking away rights that people have. That's not right. Number 3, identification of enemies/scapegoats as a unifying cause. Quote, frenzy over the need to eliminate a perceived common threat or foe. Men, masculinity. That's what you see when they attack toxic masculinity. They identify masculinity and men as being a threat to furthering a more egalitarian nation, and they attack it. You have to take that down. Yeah. Number 4, supremacy of the military. Well, of course, this one is not as obvious. There's just a couple of them that's not as obvious because, of course, they don't have state control yet. So they don't have a military, but they do have Antifa that's on their side. And if you've Googled some of the picture of Antifa, some of them are decked out in military-like gear. So they see themselves like as soldiers on the front line. And you have a lot of loud voices, loud feminist voices online. And they like to label themselves activists, fighting the good fight. So even there, you know, they kind of have their tiny army doing their bidding. Number 5 needs no explanation. Rampant sexism. Number 6, control of mass media. In the West, most mass media are left-leaning, and they support the feminist agenda, and they support it mostly because if they don't signal their virtue constantly, that they're for women, they're for trans rights, they're for gay rights and all that, well, they might be labeled transphobic and homophobic, and it's virtue signaling. It's putting out what you stand for so that people won't be able to say, well, you don't really stand for that. Number 7, obsession with national security. This comes as seeing women as having a constant need for more protection because they're all so scared all the time. I see this argument all the time. Oh, you don't know what it's like to be a woman. We're scared all the time. It's not good to be scared all the time. It's an irrational fear. You don't want to be scared all the time. You really think women are scared all the freaking time? All of them? Really? Like, I've seen, through the years, I've seen like 2 blog posts. One of them was about a woman going to a laundromat at night, and she went to a full-on panic attack because she was so scared somebody was going to attack her in that laundromat. She was alone. The whole time she was alone by herself, but she had to leave because she had a panic attack over it. And the other one was about a woman just walking in a wooded area until she noticed a man behind her. And I'm reading that bloody post and I'm like, well, he's going to do something bad. He's going to jump her or something like that. No, he just went a freaking way. But she was all scared and shit because, I mean, it's a man. He must be there to do something bad to her. He shouldn't just be some dude minding his own fucking business. No. Yeah, so yeah, obsession with female security here. Number 8, religion and government are intertwined. Quote, religion is a tool to manipulate public opinion. Here, religion is an ideology. Feminism is the same thing. It's an ideology without, a high authority ruling over it. It's controlling public opinion. Religion is set as an unshakable idea you have to follow. Feminism does the exact same thing. It's believe what we believe because we think what we believe is the right thing to believe in. And that's it. You believe what we believe in. Number 9 and number 13, which I will talk about later, are sort of the same thing. Number 9 is corporate power is protected. Industries and business are the one who put people in power. Under feminism, ideologue put forward people who are best at spreading the ideology. That's who they choose. Of course, they don't have that much corporate power, but they have corporation on their side if you look at the whole Gillette debacle. But I will talk a bit more about this later as I get to number 13. Number 10, labor power is suppressed, and that's because it's in a fascist regime. It's because it's seen as a threat to the system. Because in a fascist regime, you have a lot of exploitation of the worker class. But under feminism, the threat to the system, like I've mentioned earlier, it's a masculinity. It's men. It's their toxic masculinity and all that. That's what this is about. It's about suppressing a threat that they deem to be unacceptable in the world they're trying to create. Number 11, a disdain for intellectual and the arts. And this is pretty much an attack on freedom of speech. Because ideologues don't like people to think. They don't like thinker. They want followers. They want people who are going to do the same thing that they do and believe the same thing that they believe in. And that's it. Number 12. Obsession with crime and punishment. And that goes back to the whole right to due process thing. And you see that again in the whole Gillette commercial thingy, where feminists claim that, well, men need to be held more accountable. We need to put more rapists in jail. And I'm like, what the fuck do you mean men need to be held more accountable? More men go to prison than women. And they are there for longer sentences than they put women in for the same bloody crime. Men are already held to a high fucking standard, so what the fuck do you want? And it goes to number 13, rampant cronyism and corruption. And he defines it as group of friends and associates who appoint each other to jobs and position of power. And when I read that, the one thing that came to mind is that infamous Huffington Post from a few years back. It was a picture of a staff meeting they were having. Huffington Post, which is they like to support equality and diversity and all that. They are very PC. And the picture of this staff meeting, it was all women, all white women. No black women. I think there was 1 or 2 Asian women in there, but we're for diversity. But all our staff is women who support the belief that we already have. So cronyism and corruption and corporate power is protected. They protect the people that think like them. Same thing with fascism. And the last point is probably one of the least obvious, because it's about fraudulent election, and like the military, well, feminists don't have state control yet. But they do use smear campaign, and they like to manipulate the media, and they're just as sneaky as fascists can be. You aren't a better person because you're a feminist. You're a good person because you do good thing, not because you believe in equality. Believe in equality doesn't make you a good person, especially if your belief in equality makes you put down men and makes you vilify people who don't agree with you. I mean, just today I went on I was in a very long debate on a feminist group on Facebook, and oh my god, do those people are not good people. Good people don't put people down for thinking differently than they do. They don't do that. And you see that all the time with feminism, because hey, looks like they have many points in common with fascists. And I'm not saying feminists are fascists. I'm just saying they have many points in common with fascists. And I think that's because they don't like to look at their own behavior and see what they are doing that can be seen as being wrong, flat out wrong. They're so convinced they're right and what they do is justified and warranted that they don't give a shit about all the bad thing that people can see them doing. They feel so righteous that they just want to show everyone else how righteous they are. So yeah, so that was really fun. I really saw that list. I'm like, ooh, I have a video there. And this is just a fun little thought experiment. Of course, I'm not saying that all feminists are fascists. They're not. There's a few minority of people you see they really want to dictate what your behavior should be and how what you can or can't say, and they're sneaky as fuck. But yeah, so that was it. Thank you all to my new followers for joining in. Please like and share my video if you want. You're not forced to, of course. And follow me on Twitter. I'll try to put the link down the little description thingy. And I do plan to make more videos. I have a few ideas. It's just finding the time and the energy to do it. But thanks for supporting me and following me, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.